Good evening, wherever you are watching around this fine nation of ours. Welcome to the Big V State Champ Men's Grand Final Series. It is the third place Hume City Broncos hosting the first place McKinnon Cougars. My name is Jamie Hamilton, bringing you all the action tonight, and I am joined by Todd Anderson and Paul Langford. Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing good, Jamie.
Excellent, excited to be here.
Very excited indeed. Taking a look at the road that these two teams have had to get here, the Hume City Broncos going the hard way to make it to the Grand Final Series, dropping the first game in the semi-final series to Hawthorn before winning two massive games on the road. As for the McKinnon Cougars, they have been the dominant team all year, dropping just the two games all season, but one of those being to the Hume City Broncos. I'll throw it over to you guys. Looking at the McKinnon Cougars lineup, they have three massive stars in their team, averaging 22 points and above, but no one else really troubling the scorers too much. Does that make it easier or harder to plan and to coach against?
I think when you look at the lineups, when you've got a few guys there knocking on the door of double-figure points per game, Tom Parkinson averaging 10. You've got James Malvasso averaging 8.5. Jordan Gear having a great year of 7.5. Nick Laycock's the starter for him. He's their captain. Only at 6.5, but he brings a lot of intangibles. Jack Wilson's had a great year. And Tom Boyle, the man who wins all the jump ball tips, isn't in the jump ball tonight. But, I wouldn't be misled by the numbers. They do have a deep team. James Malvasso last year was a starter with the Blackburn Vikings, playing a great role off the bench for McKinnon this year. So I think it's going to be really interesting. Both teams, although they're led by their talented 3 or 4 players, they still have great depth, and that's what it takes to get to all the way to a championship series.
And then looking at the Hume City Broncos, definitely gone the hard way to make it into the Grand Final Series, with dropping their first game in the semi-final series right here to the Hawthorn Magic, and then winning 2 games on the road, and then even looking a bit further down into their last few games to end the season, they've kind of been a bit rocky, 2-4 their last few games at the end of the season. Do you think they have more confidence winning those 2 games on the road to make it to the Grand Final Series, or has their rocky end to the season made them a bit more vulnerable?
I think we should throw to Todd here, seeing he's the mayor of Broadmeadows. So, Todd, can you give us a bit of insight onto how Hume City made their way after going down 1 game in the semi-final series to come back and win it in 3 games? Pretty gutsy effort. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, they really did it the hard way. Just in game 1, really didn't turn up. Hawthorn were way too good for them that first game. And then it went right down the wire in the second game. Hawthorn had a chance to win it, game 2. And it went to overtime, and Hume City were able to get over the line there. And then Sunday ran over the top of them. But they played probably some of their best basketball for the last couple of months on Sunday. And I think that's going to give them a lot of confidence today. If they can play that way, then they're going to be a really good shot tonight.
Taking a look at the starting lineups for this game, as we're about a minute out from tip. For the Cougars, they're starting with Williams, Laycock, Stiff, Tanada and Parkinson. And then for the Broncos, they start with Jecker, Martin, Coleman, Foster and Shabazz. We're just about to get underway. Before we get started, boys, what are we tipping for this game?
I think it's really hard to go past McKinnon. I think they've been the benchmark. It's very hard to go past a team that's gone 22-2 in a 3-game series. As a 1-game elimination, I give Hume a little bit more hope, and I'm not discounting him, but I think it's really hard to tip against McKinnon here.
Yeah, look, it's going to be pretty important this first quarter. I think if Hume City can come out and play the way they did last week, they'll give themselves a shot, but they've got to stay with the big 3 from McKinnon early on.
Our 2 referees as well for tonight's game, Brad Henshaw and Jordan Royal. Broncos all ready, set to go. They're going to be in the blue, the McKinnon Cougars in their road whites. Just about to get underway. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you are right here on Big V Facebook page. Jerseys are all tucked in. The crowd Massive crowd here at the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium, packed literally to the rafters.
Great job. Great job by both teams to get a crowd here. It must be close to 1,000 people here tonight, and an excellent turnout. But you know, both teams are really entertaining to watch. First and second in the league in scoring at 108 and 103 points a game. So I think we're in for an entertaining affair.
Cougars winning the tip, inside, outside, plenty of ball movement. First shot goes up, playing for a foul, no call. Cougars are going to keep it. Stith putting up the first shot of the game. He's going to be putting up plenty of shots tonight. His shoulders are going to be a bit sore tomorrow morning.
Hume City starting in a 3-2 zone here.
Tamata has it at the top, calling directions, finds a wide open man inside who spills it. Parkinson a little bit too nervous, spent it before he had it, and the Broncos come up with the first stop of the game.
Todd, you've seen the home crowd doing their job early.
What's that, there at the bar?
Well, I'll throw this to you guys. How big does home court advantage have in a series like this? As the ball spilt, almost comes away with it. Forster loses. They're playing for the foul. No call.
To answer your question, I think it's always been a tough place to win here at Broadmeadows, particularly a lot of Sunday home games. They pick off a lot of teams on the second day of a doubleheader, and their crowd's always very parochial. It doesn't matter where they are on the ladder. They get a great home crowd. Some clubs in the Big V, if winning's not a thing, they really struggle to get the numbers to the games.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long wait for the Hume City people. It's 2004 since last championship, and 12 years since they'd won a playoff game. The lot of people here tonight really keen to see a win.
Layup no good. Broncos down the other end. Misses the transition three. Still no score here. We've played just over a minute. Offensive rebound though. Open corner three. Knocks it down.
Jake Martin really
shows a little bit to the crowd as well as getting everyone hyped up.
Jake Martin, this is his first season with Hume City. Played for the Bulleen Boomers 2 years ago. His numbers from the three-point line have gone up drastically since that first season, shooting the ball 40% from three.
He's locked in here on defense. Attacking, fakes one way, tough shot there for the Cougars, no good. Pulls down the board, does Stith, and then he draws a foul. He's going to inbound it from the baseline.
Eric Williams might have taken a knock in the face on that, and it looks like
Cougars calling an early timeout here.
That timeout so they don't have to sub their superstar out of the game.
He went down on the baseline the last possession, struggled to get back up, didn't make it down the other end. Got a towel up to his face as the Cougars call a timeout. Played about 100 seconds here in the first quarter. Broncos only team to hit a basket yet. They take the lead 3-0. Bit nervous, would you say, coming out to start the game here from the Cougars? Or from both teams, I would say.
I don't know about nerves. I think, you know, they might have thrown him with that 3-2 zone to start the game. Is that something they employed regularly, Todd?
It's usually something they just use on occasion. So to come out and start the game with is certainly something different. It'll be interesting to see how it works.
It seems to definitely have been working so far to start the game here. And then the Cougars going inside on every possession so far. They're really trying to utilise their bigs who have been doing most of their scoring so far this season. Coming out of the timeout here, the Cougars are going to inbound. They have it on the baseline, 14 on the shot clock after that foul on the rebounding contest.
And Williams has come out of the game.
Struggling to get it in. Broncos playing great defense here to start the game, attacking inside, trying to use the size. No good there from Parkinson. More great defense by the Broncos, and they're pushing it in transition, playing for the foul, and he gets it. And Shabazz is going to go to the line here to shoot two. As we take a look here on the replay. Tries for the Euro step. Not quite defensive position there by the Broncos. And Shabazz going to the line to shoot two.
Just a big shout out not only to the people here in Australia. I know we've got viewers watching in New Zealand. Special shout out to Justin Nelson, who coached this McKinnon group 2 years ago and was on with the commentary team. Unfortunately, he's made the move over to New Zealand, but we've got a more than ample replacement here in you, Jamie.
Thank you very much. My first game here. Very excited to be here. More great defense there by the Broncos. Nothing coming easy here for the Cougars early. attacks. Good ball movement there. They deserve this 3. And it rims out again, and another offensive rebound. Might have got away with the travel there. Doesn't matter. Tom Parkinson puts in the first 2 points for the Cougars.
Adrian Tomato is so great at getting penetration in the key and keeping his feet.
Speaking of great penetration into the key, great ball movement there. And Daniel Foster puts in his first 2 points for the Broncos. Up and down here to start the game. Plenty of excitement. Up fake and another one, and then takes the third one. Doesn't quite go anywhere near the ring.
Hearing from the crowd.
Great attack there, but no good there. Chases down his own board though. Does Jekka, and then a wide open 3, and the crowd goes wild as Shabazz hits another 3, and the Cougars.
Shabazz only 24% on 3 for the season, so that's a big shot early in this game to establish some momentum.
Cougars on the back foot here a bit to start the game. As we see Stiff, he gets double teamed. Shot clock's ticking down, got to get a shot up. Wide open off the pump fake, misses off the glass.
Jack Wilson came in for Eric Williams on that early sub. He's had a great year this year, really developed as a role player, put on a lot of size physically.
Step back, Jekka, no good there, a bit short. Cougars pushing it, Stith, he's out on the fast break and he throws it down with one hand. And let's see if that's going to get the Cougars pumped up.
Eric Williams back at the scorer's table.
Wide open lane to the ring, almost comes up with that offensive board, no good. Cougars pushing it in transition again. Shots up, open 3, no good. Fighting for the board. And the Broncos going to come up with it. And just like you mentioned,
Nick Laycock is going to take a seat. His first rest of the game, and Eric Williams back into the
Williams game. Checking back in. We hope that he's all good. Broncos have the ball. We've played 4 minutes here in the first quarter. Broncos with the lead, 10-4. Almost coming up with the steal is Williams. Driving in, great ball movement. Foul's called. And Shabazz is going to go to the line again to shoot 2.
Interesting call there. I thought he had his feet set. Whether or not he was in the charge zone or not, we might get a replay of that. Yep. No, I think he may have just been moving over.
Not quite set. That foul whistled on Tamata. That's just his first. Shabazz hits his first free throw, looking pretty good here to start. They're going to him quite a bit. Converts the back end as well. We've got a sub here for the Broncos. Mabubi checks in.
Daniel Foster taking his first rest of the game.
The young Foster takes a seat. Williams puts up a deep 3. Knocks it straight down. He's fine.
Williams having a great year from beyond the arc, 40.3% from behind the three-point line this year.
Geez, you take that any day.
And he was someone in the first matchup here. I think he made 7 threes in that game and just absolutely destroyed them. So
Williams playing some great defense here. Shot clock's ticking down. That's a deep 3. That's a tough shot. No good. And Stiff gets up very high to pull that down. And a bit of contact as well.
Big athletic rebound there by Dylan Stith.
Shabazz whistled for the foul there.
Looks like they're going to isolate Williams in the post here. Against the small.
There comes the double. Good passing, good ball movement. Takes it all the way, finds the open lane. Great look there.
Excellent ball reversal out of the post. They had to send a double team to Coleman to sort of give him some help for the bigger Eric Williams. And great weak side penetration there for Tamata's layup.
Coleman draws the foul there, and a bit of a Reggie Miller kick out there. Williams not too happy with it. But Coleman's going to go to the line, but not before the Broncos call a timeout. Just over halfway through the first quarter. Broncos still with the lead, But the Cougars coming back a bit. It's 12-9 in favour of the home side. And Williams is still talking to the official. Not too happy with that one. As we take a look here on the replays. Great ball movement by the Broncos. The Cougars looking pretty good coming out of that timeout that they called. Once Williams checked back in, the energy just seemed to lift. One or two made shots, and all of a sudden, it's pretty level pegging.
I think the threat Williams poses to the Hume City defense is immense. All of a sudden, it frees other guys like Tamata up. And now they've got that sort of three-headed monster we spoke about at the start of the game, and gives them 3 perennial scorers. I'd be very interested to know if there's ever been a team in Big V history in the 40-minute game that has had 3 players average more than 22 points a game, because that's pretty phenomenal.
It's not something that you see every day, and it's a credit to the front end, the back end staff at the Cougars, the ability to find players of this ability, and then their ability to come out and produce it. Because sometimes you see with some of these players, they come in with all the hype, and then they maybe don't quite live up to the expectations. But
I think full credit to both these clubs. They've both undergone some big changes this year. Brand new head coaches, both rookie head coaches. Certainly at this level, Matt Foster had a very successful career at Bulleen before he made the change. But some great changes, some good recruiting by both teams. I think you might see some people in there for nomination for Coach of the Year, but I think that's Coach of the Year also goes beyond that. It goes beyond the buy-in from the players, and also what the clubs are doing off the floor with their recruiting and those sort of things as well.
Coleman hits both of his free throws. Cougars going back inside to Williams again, no good. Great box out, making sure that Steve can't even get up for it. And a tough shot in transition, stopping on a dime. There is Jamal Shabazz. And he just made that look way too easy. The player hits the deck, and it's an offensive foul coming off of that pass.
We might get a replay on that. Yeah, here it is.
Eric Williams whistled for that foul there.
That's his second.
He's not happy. He's going to take a seat.
He's going to have to check out of the game. Jordan Gear coming in for his first minutes.
Unlucky call there. I'm not a big fan of that call, or that type of call, but understand why it happens. Either way, the Broncos coming down the court with possession. Thought about the three, decides against it. Cougars coming out in a 2-3 zone here. Wide open lane to the ring, and that's far too easy.
I think we might have seen some players in the zone there and some in a man, and hence why they were able to just waltz in and get that Matador layup.
Stife playing for the foul, no call, gets it away.
Stife trying to post up the smaller Lee Jack, and I say smaller only in height-wise. He's got the world's biggest tricep, so that is a very hard man to post up.
Foul's called on the drive to the ring. Played great defense for about 7 of those 9 seconds. Unfortunate foul there in the end. Mabubi drawing that one. Tamata's going to go to the line.
Tamata got to the line a lot this year, about 8 free throw attempts a game, converting at 79%. So we should see him there a fair bit tonight.
The Broncos making a change as well. Martin taking a seat, on comes Peter Pondak for his first minutes of the game. Now we see a lot come finals time that the rotations tend to shorten a little bit. So not as many of these kind of bench players going to see as much court time as normal.
Yeah, and you're going to see Pete bring a lot of energy here. He crushes the glass, he gets inside. And
just like that.
McKinnon's already up to their 8th player, and their leading scorer.
Tough finish there, Dylan Stife.
Great finish with the left hand. Their leading scorer off the bench this year, James Malvasso, hasn't seen minutes as yet, but I'm sure he won't be far away. So 9 of 10 players coming in for the Cougars for the first quarter. It'll be interesting to see how many Hume City get into the game.
Coleman whistled for that foul. Tough finish there with the left hand. And Cougars getting an offensive board. Could have been another foul there. Tom Boyle putting the ball back where it belongs.
Yeah, and that's something that Hume City have really struggled with this year is boxing out and not giving up offensive boards, and then to make sure that they're doing that tonight.
Wide open corner three. Mabubi knocks it down. Doesn't matter what you're shooting from beyond the arc. A wide open three is a shot that should be finished. And we've got a foul called here.
I don't know if Shabazz Napier's life flashed before his eyes then, but certainly I think everyone in this building thought it was going to. He thought he was in the high jump for the Olympics.
The oxygen just ripped out of it, out of the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium. Stuyth going to go to the line here.
Interesting substitution here for Hume City with Napier, Coleman and Jacker, 3 of their 4 leading scorers, all taking a seat. Giving the younger players a bit of an opportunity. So I'll be interested to see if they can weather the storm while they get a bit of a blow. There might not be too many opportunities to get a rest here tonight.
Prendergast takes the court as well. Foster checks back in as well for the Broncos. Stuyth knocks down the free throws despite the very loud crowd trying to make sure that he doesn't. 2.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Hume City with the lead, 21-17. Broncos coming out of the gates here fast. A nice finish there by Daniel Foster. Puts the Cougars player on his behind. And we might be seeing that one in the Big V mixtape come this weekend.
Had a tomato get through there, but wasn't to be. Good attacking pace here by the Broncos.
Broncos playing hard and fast to start the game. Cougars catch a lucky break there with the turnover by Jake Martin.
We definitely need a floor wiper out there. Jake Martin sweats when he walks in the building, so that will be very slippery over there.
Sweats like you at a buffet, Todd?
Exactly.
And James Malvasso checking in for his first minute, so it now means that all 10 of... Sorry, I tell a lie.
Stuyth puts up the three, no good.
9 out of 10 McKinnon's players seeing minutes in this first quarter here.
Coach Maybach just wants to make me look like a liar by saying that they shorten the rotations. Tough finish inside there, Jordan Greer.
I've only ever known you to be a liar, Jamie.
That is a beautiful finish right back by Mabubi. This whole game, this whole first quarter is going to be on the Big V highlight reel this weekend. There's one way, then the other. Tomato, late whistle there. Probably the right call in the end. Saw the mismatch and took advantage of it.
You know, if you go back to previous years, you'd be almost disappointed with a 25 to whatever it's going to be opening quarter. Then there's potential for more than 50 points being scored in this quarter, but the way both these teams played this year and the up and down pace of the league, it's not out of the question that either team could lose despite putting up more than 25 points in an opening stanza.
They're playing hard, they're playing fast, they're playing with nothing to lose, and that's exactly the type of basketball we love to see.
The Big V Champ Division's been very interesting this year with the way the league has been restructured. I think a lot of people felt that with the teams moving up, it may have lost something, but certainly the way the game is being played at this level, hell of an entertaining spectacle when you've got, I think, 4 teams in the league scoring more than 100 points a game.
You're not going to lose too many games when you're scoring more than 100 points a game. Ball goes inside, and then gets the friendly roll back in there, does Pondak. And then Stuyth takes it all the way. Double team, still can't finish. Ball gets tipped out. A wide open, deep three, knocks it down. Tom Boyle.
That's what Tom Boyle does after a pretty miserable year last year at Blackburn. Had some pretty bad coaching. He's back in the game with shooting 41% from the three.
playing great
physical
defense as
defender.
well. Nothing coming easy for the Broncos at the moment. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. It's a 27-23 lead to the Broncos. Cougars going to try and run down this clock as much as they can. Not let the Broncos get any score here. Broncos staying in that. Ball's kicked out to the corner. Good ball movement. Deep three there by Stife. No good. Manages to get the O board. Takes it all the way. Does Laycock. Great finish to the corner there by the Cougars. Broncos players stopped there. Thought there might have been a violation. Ball did not hit the supports. And then to end the quarter, shots no good. Broncos players wanting a foul, but the siren goes. Quarter time here at the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium. Despite getting out to an early lead, the Broncos a bit nervous at the moment, 27-25. You'd be very happy if you were Coach Jermaine Maybank and the McKinnon Cougars right now.
Yeah, I think a huge thing for McKinnon's been the offensive rebounding. They've got 7 already, 13 second chance points, and if that's going to keep happening, then they're going to be hard to stop.
I think I've been most impressed with Hume City's transition when they do come up with a board. The way they run in numbers is really entertaining and also dangerous for the McKinnon team. On the flip side, I think the offensive rebounding for McKinnon and also the penetration they've been able to get into the lane and score there fairly easily. Not always on the first attempt, but whether it be on a kick-out rebound and then being able to penetrate off that.
Taking a look at the stats leaders so far this game, you see Jamal Shabazz on the screen right now. He's leading everyone with 9 points. And then Mabubi off the bench for the Broncos with 7 points as well. The Cougars spreading the love a bit, pretty evenly so far. Leading the way them is Stith with 6, and then you've got 2 players on 5 in Tamata and Boyle. So we mentioned it at the top of the broadcast about, the big 3 for the Cougars, but they're sharing the love to start the game here.
Yeah, they have, and it'll be very interesting if Matt Foster, who's just injected a few of his starters back into the lineup, if they try and go early at Eric Williams and see if they can pick up a 3rd foul out of him and keep him on the bench. The Cougars don't look to be starting with Williams, so they're going to give him a little bit more rest time, if you like, probably to protect him from fouling out because they're going to want him down the stretch.
Yep, and this group on the floor now for the Cougars done a great job the last few minutes, so definitely try and keep running with that and see how they go.
Yep.
Broncos going to have the ball to start the second quarter here. Officials just making sure that everyone's jerseys are tucked in. This is a gentleman's game after all. Don't want to look sloppy. And we're underway. Ball is in the hand of Daniel Foster. Cougars starting the quarter off in a man here. That's a tough deep 3, and it's no good. And Stith pulls down the board, getting higher above the rim than I could ever dream of. And transition 3 knocks it down.
James Malvasso, the lefty, and Cougars have their first lead of the game.
And then the Broncos almost losing it there. Another sloppy turnover, but manages to save it. More shifty dribbling. No good. Stith pulls down the board. Could have been a foul. The refs say play on. And another transition 3 for the Cougars.
Tom Boyle.
And the travelling fans are up and about. Back-to-back 3s, and the Cougars have a 4-point advantage. What are the Broncos going to do to hit back?
Great use of the pick and roll there by Lee Jacker. I was interested to see if they go back to that horn set because Hume City struggled to guard. McKinnon struggled to guard that earlier, and they've gone away from it. So we'll see if they continue to implement it.
Dylan Stith has it.
How he avoided getting a charge there is pretty amazing. Like he's
For
just got such
size,
great presence of mind at 6'8". Bit
going on off the ball here. Plenty of physical D. And then the foul gets whistled, and there's a bit of afters going on.
I really hope that doesn't change the way this game's being officiated. I think they've done a really good job letting them play so far. I'd hate for a little bit of a, discussion, if you like, to change the way the referees have been calling it because they're off to a great start.
And the officials
definitely complimenting him there on his defense. I think that's what we said.
Foul there is whistled on Nick Laycock. The officials just stepping in there and just saying, let's just be smart here, boys. I like officiating like that. Just
as long
cool
as
heads prevail.
As long as that's what it stays like, I'm happy. But the last thing we want to see is great players sitting on the bench in such an important game.
And just like that, Jake Martin hits back with the three of his own, and the Broncos take the lead back. We're going shot for shot here to start the second quarter. Stith has it at the top. Sees a gap. Great no-look pass there. Beautiful ball movement by the Cougars. Not rewarded there by the three. That's a tough shot there. Not what the coach drew up. And he doesn't look too happy either, does Coach Foster. And a beautiful take there to the ring by Jordan Greer. Drawing the contact. He's going to go to the line to shoot two. Just that little stop-start there for a second, putting the defender on the back of his feet. And then switching gears, attacking the ring, tough finish. Tough move at the ring. And Greer's going to go to the line here to shoot two.
Tom Boyle renewing his love for the referees. No doubt he's inviting him over for a barbecue next weekend.
First free throw is no good. Shabazz checking back in for the Broncos. Coach Foster probably not liking what he's seeing and just injecting back one of his starters. As Greer misses them both.
Jordan Greer, I think on the season, was an 81% free throw shooter, and he's missed both there.
Crowd's up and about here as a tough finish through the contact. Malvoso whistled for that foul there. Just a lazy slap.
Good to see Jordan Coleman getting amongst the scoring. For the Broncos to start the quarter time with a lead, and only 2 points out of Jordan Coleman. A little bit surprising, but it just shows you that they do have a bit of depth out there.
Coleman converts the three-point play. The lead is now back out to 4 for the Broncos. 35-31, 2.5 minutes down in the second quarter. Greer has it at the top, being absolutely harassed by Mabubi. Shrugs the defender off. Tough finish through the ring. Wants a foul as well. Doesn't get it. Ask the official why not. Plenty of contact there by Jordan Stuyve. And Coleman is going to earn those points. Let's take a look at the replay here. Could have been maybe 3 or 4 fouls there. And Coleman going back to the line. 3 for 3 on the night so far is Coleman. He goes 4 for 4. 4th year in the Big V for Jordan Coleman, playing at Latrobe and Keilor before putting on the blue, white and green of the Hume City Broncos. And he's having a great season so far. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Handy stats there.
His handy stats, and what surprises, well, that doesn't surprise me here, Jamie, but amazing how much homework you've done on this on this sort of thing. Justin Nelson and I did this last year. We just made it up on the spot. So great to work with a professional.
Shout out to Justin Nelson. He's a great man and does a great job at what he does, but so is the defense of the Hume City Broncos. Coming up with another turnover. Another step back, goes to the left hand, knocks it down. Jamal Shabazz having himself a little game here, 11 points already.
And Jamal's someone who's really upped his scoring through the playoffs. struggled with his jump shot early in the season, and the last few weeks especially.
He looks a lot more comfortable shooting that mid-ranger than he does from the three, even though he's made one here tonight.
Williams thought about the three, decides against it, kicks it off to the better three-point shooter, and Nick Laycock knocks down another one. Both these sides with big body blows here in the second quarter. Massive threes, shot after shot. That one just rims out, but the O board pulled down by Martin. And another pretty little step back there.
And timeout being called by the Cougars.
We've played about 4 minutes here in the second quarter. Broncos have the lead 41-36, and we're just going shot for shot here. Defense has been really high quality, but geez, the offensive ability of some of these players is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the individual offensive brilliance out there is makes it very hard to guard. They're not sort of getting through long-winded offenses. There's a lot of quick pull of the trigger, so it's very hard to defend when you don't know when the players are going to shoot the ball.
And Shabazz leading the way early for the Broncos with 13 points. And that just little one dribble step back shot is just almost impossible to guard. He does not make it easy for the defense. As we take a look here, just some of the, there it is right there, Jamal Shabazz. One dribble, goes back, brings the ball to the left, rises up with the right.
Every time I look down across the court, there's just more and more people coming in, and I think soon we're going to have to...
the crowd sitting right here next to us.
City over on court too, so...
Hope you got the bar well stocked down there in the corral there, Toddy.
Yeah, certainly. If you can't get a seat, head underneath to the bar. We should have the stream going on the TV as well. So,
massive crowd here at the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium. And we absolutely love it.
Oh, how they
no violation called there.
place.
Williams has it, plenty of contact, being absolutely harassed.
Did a great job, stilled his man up, and then took the contact, and then rose up, so he knew he'd get to the what I thought was going to be the free throw line, but it looks like it's going to be a side ball.
Jamal Shabazz whistled for that foul there. A few subs coming in here for the Broncos. Foster checking back in, as is Lee Jecker, as Shabazz takes a seat along with Mabubi. Shabazz with 2 fouls here. Doesn't want to get a third before halftime. Tamata takes it all the way and draws the foul. Tough finish there.
Tamata's penetration nearly all come from the top of the key, and he's fearless once he gets in the lane. Very good at drawing contact. Really gutsy play there.
Bit of a slap upside the head as well. That'll ring your bell a little bit. Might be thankful here that both officials are chatting to some players. He can get a second to shake the cobwebs out. He still manages to convert the three-point play. 41-39, Broncos with the lead. Cougars took the lead briefly in the first quarter. Since then, we've just gone shot for shot. Tough finish, plenty of contact, no whistle. Good defense there, but better offense from Jordan Coleman.
McKinnon looking a little bit out of sorts with their offense there.
Trying to get it inside, not quite there. Great defense by the Broncos. Pushing it in transition, thought about the three, now he takes it, does Foster, and it's no good. Stife pulling down another board. He's up to 5 already. Great ball movement by the Cougars. Great O-board there. No good, no foul, gets his own board, puts it back in. And Stife just works. He's almost impossible to box out on the glass.
He's so much taller than any of the players out there. I mean, he's a guard and he's 6'8", and I think the tallest player out there for the Hume City Broncos at the moment is Jake Martin, and he's only about 6'5", 6'6", Todd.
Foster chasing down the board, goes inside. Williams plays great defense and then says, yep, I did play great defense there. Lefty 3 in the corner. No, it's a deep 2.
Deep 2, but it's
Coach Killer.
good to see James Malvasso knock down a shot. He missed his last couple. He's a bit of an overthinker, so good to see him knock that one down and not think too much about it, because when he's at his best, I think he had 32 points not too long ago, so great to see him knocking them down.
Make sure that one was a 3. A little bit too short there. And the Cougars playing great defense. We're locked up here at 43 apiece. 3:42 remaining here in the second quarter. Cougars going to the bench. Tom Parkinson checking in. He's had an extended break here, only the 6.5 minutes so far. Just replacing size with more size, 200 centimetres. And that's tough to guard. And there he is, he has the ball and he takes a 3 straight away. Chases down his own board. Stuyth comes up with it, puts it in as well.
And Cougars back into a 2-point lead.
Foster has the ball here. Now it's Coleman. Between the legs. Foster deep 3, but he had the space, no good. And then an over the back foul there by Jordan Coleman. And the Cougars have their tails up at the moment. They've taken the lead here, 45-43. Playing some great defense and some great offense as well.
Coleman's made himself up to 9 points right now, but Jamal Shabazz really getting it done. He's been off for the last few minutes, getting a rest. I'm sure we'll see him soon. But now Hume back into no, they're not in a 3-2 zone. Make a liar of me, but
3-point shots up. That one's down. Same spot, better result.
Shabazz has picked up his 3rd foul just before, so we'll probably not see him again.
We won't see him before half-time.
That's a tough 3 coming off the screen. Sean Prendergast. That's exactly what the Broncos needed. Williams, great ball movement, great vision, great result. James Malvasso with a massive 3. Coach Foster needs to call a timeout. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Cougars lead is up to 6, 51-45. And I'll throw this question out to both of you gentlemen. Shabazz on 3 fouls, but he seems to be the only real offensive producer at the moment for the Broncos. Do you risk that 4th foul and get him back in and inject some offense into the game and hope he doesn't draw the 4th?
I personally like to roll the dice in finals. You go all season for it if you're not prepared to take some risks. However, those risks don't always work. What for me right now that needs to happen is the Hume City need to start getting some stops, because where they were so dangerous early on was their ability to get stops and run. They haven't been able to do it. Every time now they're taking the ball out of the bottom of the net because McKinnon just continued to score.
Yep, and McKinnon just continuing to own the offensive glass. Second chance points are through the roof as well, so we have to make sure they're boxing out and not giving up 2-3 shots every possession.
So they've got Dylan Stuyth down for 2 offensive rebounds, which probably in dog years means that he's up to about 16 of them.
It's very tough to get stats on the road.
It's very tough to get offensive rebound statistics, full stop.
You can say that again. That's been a... You got to jump too high. That's my issue. Could never do that too much.
So McKinnon 11 offensive rebounds, 17 second chance points.
Yeah. Broncos
still in the second quarter.
Broncos with the ball here coming out of that timeout. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Cougars with the lead, 51-45. That shot's no good there. Cougars still playing great defense, pushing it here in transition. Sees the open shooter.
Malvasso with a step back.
Hits the deck. James Malvasso once again. Another massive 3. And the travelling fans, they've come a long way, but they're being rewarded and they're making their voices heard.
His 3rd made 3 and the 8th for McKinnon.
And another missed 3 by the Broncos. Williams has the ball here, slowing it down. Gets the double, reads it perfectly. Great defense inside there by Pondak. He's pushing it, taking it all the way, rising up. And an offensive foul.
Great job there by Eric Williams. You know, prepared to take the charge even though he's in a little bit of foul trouble himself. Gutsy play. Glad to see he got the result, putting his body on the line.
As we take a look at the replay, Pondak rising up, but Williams reading that like a book. Picture perfect defensive play there. That's one that the coaches need to take the screen recording of and show all their players. That is exactly how you take a charge.
So Hume City are in a 3-2 zone here. They're going to flare James Malvasso to the weak side corner. He's not going to get there in time. He does.
Stife, plenty of contact. Travel called first.
I actually like that call.
Yep. Good call there by the officials.
He wasn't quite being aggressive enough to get to the free throw line. He took too long with it, so I actually like that call.
Playing for the foul. Not going to reward the player who does that. Laycock's going to check back in for the Cougars.
I don't know if Jermaine Maybach's been watching this game, but James Malvasso has just hit the last 11 points for him, and he's found his way to the bench, but maybe he's going to get a good run in the second half.
Ticked just under a minute remaining in the first half. Foster takes the three and he knocks it down. And the Broncos definitely needed that one.
Timely shot.
Almost got away with the travel there. Williams has it at the top. Shot clock's ticking down. He's got to needs to make something happen. Goes for the step back and then throws it straight out of bounds and acknowledges that probably not the right play there. But the Broncos have it here. They're going to play 2 for 1. Who are they going to go to here for their score?
Well, it looks like Lee Jacker's going to take it all the way.
Pondak somehow comes away with it. Pulls down his own board. Gets the hometown roll as well.
Great aggression. So we've got one shot left. The shot clock's off. There's 20 seconds left. Be interested to see what McKinnon come up with here against this 3-2 zone. You can't just go to a pick and roll unless they want to run it against the zone.
Big shot in the grand scheme of things. Can they get the stop? Shots up. Rattles it home. Does Parkinson. Crowd loves it. And then a nice little halftime block. The Cougar fans, they've travelled a long way to make it out here to Broadmeadows. Very happy with what they're seeing. Halftime here at the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium. The Cougars with a 7-point advantage, 57-50. Taking a look at the stats leaders.
That quarter, McKinnon outscored Hume City 32-23 to come 2 points down at quarter time to now have a 7-point lead.
And it was all off the hand of James Malvasso, coming massively off the bench for the Cougars.
Here are some stats up on your screen right now. So McKinnon shooting the ball at 51%. 12 of 25 from the field. No, the stats are gone. Here they are. So offensive rebounds, Todd, you mentioned earlier, 11 offensive rebounds there for Hume City. As a coach, we were trying to get teams under 16 offensive rebounds a game. They're well on their way to getting that. Assists, both teams playing high pace, so you've got a lot of assists in the game already. Turnovers, McKinnon looks a little bit unsure in their offense. They're outscoring them 7-3. If Hume City don't have those transition baskets, they do like to pull it out, so hence only the 3 turnovers there.
And the Cougars making a bit of a liar out of me to start the game. We were saying that there was going to be the big 3, but they've shared the scoring relatively evenly. Malvasso leading the way with 11 points. Stife, the skipper, with 10 points and 9 rebounds. And that 9 rebounds probably looking more like 14 or 15 here in the first half. And then everyone else for the Cougars scoring a few buckets here and there. We're going to take a short break here at halftime. It's 57-50. The Cougars with a lead on the road. We'll be back in about 4 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
81% free.
Harassed by Mabubi. Shugs the defender off. Tough finish. Another step back. Goes to the left hand. Williams thought about the three. Decides against it. Kicks it off to the better three-point shooter. And another pretty little step back. 2 fouls here. Doesn't want to get a third before half-time. Tamata takes it all the way. And since then, we've just gone shot for shot. Tough finish. Plenty of contact. No Cougars. Great O-board there. No good. No foul. Defense there. Lefty three in the corner. No, it's a deep two. He takes a three straight away. Chases down his own board. Stuyth comes up with it. Puts it in.
Don't make a liar of me, but
3-point shots up. That one's down. Same spot.
We won't see him before halftime.
That's a tough three coming off the screen. The Broncos needed Williams. Great ball movement. Great vision. Great pushing it here in transition. Sees the open shooter.
Malvasa with a step back.
Hits the deck. Ticked just under a minute remaining in the first half. Foster takes the three and he knocks it down. Somehow comes away with it. Pulls down his own board. Gets the hometown roll. Big shot in the grand scheme of things. Can they get the stop? Shots up. He'll play just over a minute. Offensive rebound though. Open corner three. Knocks it down. Might have got away with the travel there. Doesn't matter.
Adrian Tamata is so great at getting penetration in the key and keeping his feet.
Speaking of great penetration into the key. Board though does Jekka, and then a wide open three, and the crowd goes wild. Good there, a bit short. Cougars pushing in. Stuyth, he's out on the fast break and he throws it down with one hand. Foster takes a seat. Williams puts up a deep three. Knocks it straight. There comes the double. Good passing, good ball movement. Takes it all the way, finds the open lane. Great box out, making sure that Steve can't even get up for it. And a tough shot in transition, stopping on. Coming out in a 2-3 zone here. Wide open lane to the ring, and that's far too...
Up to their 8th player, and their leading scorer...
Tough finish there. And Cougars getting an offensive board. Could have been another...
Sure that they're doing that tonight.
Wide open corner three. 21-17. Broncos coming out of the gates here fast. Nice finish. Coach Maybach just wants to make me look like a liar by saying that they shorten the rotations. Tough finish. That is a beautiful finish, right? Ball goes inside. And then gets the friendly roll back. Ball gets tipped out. A wide open deep three, knocks it down.
No good. Manages to get the O board.
Takes it all the way. Doesn't than I could ever dream of. And transition three, knocks it down. Say play on. And another transition three for the Cougars.
Tom Boyle.
Point advantage. What are the Broncos going to do to hit back?
Great use of the pick. I'm happy. The last thing we want to see is great players sitting on the bench in such an important game.
And just as them both.
Jordan Gear, I think on the season was an 81% free.
Harassed by Mabubi. Shugs the defender off. Tough finish. Another step back. Goes to the left hand. Williams thought about the three. Decides against it. Kicks it off to the better three-point shooter. And another pretty little step back. 2 fouls here. Doesn't want to get a third before half-time. Tamata takes it all the way. And since then, we've just gone shot for shot. Tough finish. Plenty of contact. No Cougars. Great O-board there. No good. No foul. Defense there. Lefty three in the corner. No, it's a deep two. He takes a three straight away. Chases down his own board. Stuyth comes up with it. Puts it in.
Don't make a liar of me, but
3-point shots up. That one's down. Same spot.
We won't see him before halftime.
That's a tough three coming off the screen. The Broncos needed Williams. Great ball movement. Great vision. Great, pushing it here in transition. Sees the open shooter.
Malvasa with
the
a step back.
Hits the deck. Ticked just under a minute remaining in the first half. Foster takes the 3 and he knocks it down. Somehow comes away with it. Pulls down his own board. Gets the hometown roll. Big shot in the grand scheme of things. Can they get the stop? Shots up. Gets play just over a minute. Offensive rebound though. Open corner 3. Knocks it down. Might have got away with the travel there, but doesn't matter.
Adrian Tamata is so great at getting penetration in the key and keeping his feet.
Speaking of great penetration into the key. Board though, does Jekka, and then a wide open 3, and the crowd goes wild. Good there, a bit short. Cougars pushing it. Stith, he's out on the fast break and he throws it down with one hand. Foster takes a seat. Williams puts up a deep 3. Knocks it straight. There comes the double. Good passing, good ball movement. Takes it all the way, finds the open lane. Great box out, making sure that Steve can't even get up for it. And a tough shot in transition, stopping on. Coming out in a 2-3 zone here. Wide open lane to halftime here at the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium. It is the Big V Champ Men Grand Final Series Game 1 between the McKinnon Cougars and the Hume City Broncos, and it is the visiting Cougars who have got out to a 7-point lead, 57-50. Jamie Hamilton here, bringing you all the action alongside Todd Anderson and Paul Langford. And I think before we get back into the swing of things, we're going to go around the grounds and check out some of the other results in action going on across Victoria.
Well, probably the biggest one out there is the end of the Sunbury streak, if you like. Werribee came from behind to beat them by 3 moments ago. In the Division 1 men, Warrandyte have a commanding lead, 21-point lead over Keysborough after losing Game 1. So that one looks like it's going to go to Game 3 tomorrow. And in the Division 2 men, it looks like Camberwell has prevailed there, forcing Game 3 against Mildura Heat tomorrow at Baldwin High School.
And we're underway back here. The Cougars have the ball to start off. Loose ball heading on around. And the Cougars are going to keep possession.
Also, Melbourne Uni are out to a 10-point lead at halftime over the Blackburn Vikings women in Division 2.
Cougars ball on the baseline, fresh 14 for them as well. Tamata has the ball in the corner. Ignores the screen, playing for the foul, doesn't come. Good possession by the Broncos to start. And then Williams sneaking up and ripping the ball out of Shabazz's hands. Takes it all the way himself. Tough left-hand finish.
One thing Eric Williams has always impressed me with is his hustle. He can not only score points, but he creates points just through his sheer work ethic out on the floor.
Jekka has the ball. Broncos starting the second half with their starting 5, as are the Cougars. Corner 3 shots, no good. Offensive board, great defense, better offense. Coleman puts the ball right back in the ring for the first points in the second half. Cougars going inside. Big cross-court pass. And then the 3's no good. Shabazz stopping on a dime. Gets the shot up.
Just amazes me how quick their offenses are. I mean, a deep 2, whether you like it or not, but it's within 5 seconds of touching the ball. That shot clock was still at 19. That's very hard to defend when you don't know when the offense is coming at you.
Same thing for the Cougars. Williams puts up a 3, and that's no good. Foster bringing the ball down the court for the Broncos. Now Coleman has it with Stith on him. Mismatch there, he likes it. No good. Tough box out there by Parkinson. Tamata playing for the foul again, no good. Stith rips down the board. and then puts it in nice and soft. All business, Dylan Stith. I like that. Doesn't complain to the refs about the fouls. Doesn't play for fouls or anything. Just puts the ball in the ring and rips down rebounds. And drops assists as well. Tomato with a big 3 for the Cougars. And that lead is out to 10 points now. Double digits for the first time in the game.
McKinnon, that was their 10th 3 of the game. Very hard to win games when you're giving up 10 threes. That's already 30 points from behind the arc. And we've got 17 minutes to play.
Stith wanted to rise up there, didn't want to draw the foul and lost the ball. And then hustles back and pulls down the board off that missed shot there by Lee Jacker. Pretty scrappy here to start the second half. Cougars going to run a set, or are they? Williams decides to take the 3.
I think against that 3-2 zone, he wants to shoot that. They've got to seriously think about coming out of that if they hit another one.
Great defense. There, by...
Here we go, they got numbers, 3-on-2, but Williams won't need it.
Takes it all the way, shot's no good. Very, very scrappy at the moment.
Already noticing with the tempo of this game, there's players out there that are exhausted. I think you're already starting to see a bit of sloppiness starting to creep into this quarter, and I think it's just the tempo of the game that's taking its toll.
I'm working up a sweat just watching them. Imagine if it was like on the court. Broncos have to inbound here. We just have our hard-working court sweepers mopping up all the perspiration.
Massive crowd on here tonight, Toddy.
Huge. To see that many people across on court 2 as well is massive. Just
a lot of basketball royalty in the place. Got some Cecil Exum walk in. Chris Lynch, who's played a number of years out here. Eric Cox, a legend of the Big V and the VBL, and also the old ABA.
Daniel Foster hitting that 3, balling out in front of these legends. He's up to 10 points.
A man who thinks he's a legend, Brendan Trewella. I'm pretty sure I saw him before.
Beautiful dime. Nicholas Laycock forgot to look where he was passing. Hitting the deck there. 3-point shots up. Sold in the wounds there. Jake Martin with a big 3.
I'm going to get a flop warning here, I think.
I have no problem with the referee not calling a charge, but I do have a problem when there is contact calling a flop. There's a difference between flopping and falling. Anyway, won't take away from the referees. They've done a great job so far.
A brilliantly officiated game so far. Lead's been cut down to 6 here for the Cougars, 66 to 60, 5.5 to go in the third quarter here. Champ men grand final game 1. Ball gets lost but gets recovered, and then a big 3 there by Nicholas Laycock. Up to 8 points. And then Dylan Stith throws it out of here.
I think that was the 12th 3 of the game there for the McKinnon Cougars.
Dylan Stith with a massive block. He really wants the ball now. His tail's up. He's full of confidence. He's dropping dimes as well. Not quite that time.
Crafty play there by
Tomato.
Almost got it, yep.
Coming up with that pesky little point guard move. Coleman has it, finds an open lane, takes it all the way to the ring. Eric Williams looking at his teammates like, why was no one there? That's where the center's supposed to be. That's a tough 3-point shot put up. Exactly what the Broncos wanted. And then they're pushing it in transition. Foster has it. Does the smart thing and pulls it out. Gets it back. Now they're kicking it inside to big Jake Martin. He's going to go to work. Double come straight away. Stith. Open lane here. He's going to go up, playing for the foul. And he gets it that time. He's going to go to the line here to shoot 2.
Be interesting to see if these coaches start rotating their bench now. You can see Jake Martin there. He's got his hands on his knees. Bit of gas going on. Now he's got his hands behind his head. Shabazz, same deal, hands on knees. It's an excruciating tempo out there right now.
Been very up and down here to start the third quarter. Pretty scrappy as well. Let's see which team's going to be the first to get back in the swing of things. Steiff hits the first. 26.2 points, 11.5 rebounds, third in the league in points, second in rebounds. Absolutely balling out this year. Got to be one of the front runners for the league MVP. He's up to 14 points in this game as well. Beautiful passing there by the Broncos. Daniel Foster misses the shot, but then the rebound gets put straight back in. Jake Martin, he's having himself a pretty good game as well. 11 points, 4 rebounds.
Jake Martin, 9 rebounds a game. He's phenomenal work ethic on the offensive glass. A lot of the times, it's his own misses, but he just doesn't quit.
Doesn't matter how you get him, as long as you get him. Foul gets called, and it's called offensive, and the crowd is not happy. The crowd lets their feelings known. It's called on Jamal Shabazz. It's an offensive foul.
Unfortunately, we can't get a replay of that, but I would love to see it.
Cougars fans are happy. The Cougars bench is up. I'm sure you can hear it through our effects mics. The crowd letting their feelings known. Controversial call, to say the least.
As long as no one gets called a bald-headed flog, we're right. Then Todd might have to go back to his day job.
And Todd, I could see you weren't too happy with that one as another foul gets called.
Yeah, look, it's a massive call. That puts him on 4 fouls and obviously limits how much input you can have the rest of the game. So if you make a mistake there, it's got huge ramifications.
Prendergast whistled for that foul as well. And Parkinson going to the line here to shoot 2. And we can all just take a nice deep breath right now. And now we can take an even longer one as Coach Foster calls a timeout for the Hume City Broncos. 3:38 remaining in the third quarter. Lead is at 7 for the McKinnon Cougars, 71-64. And this has been a very interesting start to the quarter here. Up and down. Pretty sloppy on offense, if I'm being brutally honest.
Certainly a much less scoring quarter. I think their execution's down. I think fatigue is starting to play a factor in their execution. Without having a quick look at the turnover count, I believe that'll be up. Maybe a bit of a timeout, some free throws, get some air back into the lungs for some of these guys so the quality of play can be up at what it was in the first half, which was exceptional.
And right now we'd like to thank Spalding, the official ball supplier for all Basketball Victoria run competitions. For basketballs, systems and more, head to spalding.com/basketballvictoria. 2 shots here for the Cougars. Tom Parkinson heading to the line. He's been the fourth man in that big three, I guess is what you would say, averaging 10.8 points and around 6 rebounds and an assist. Veteran of the league as well. But for this game, already up to 10.
But James Malvasso did an outstanding job in that second quarter, and he's only just starting to get back into the game now. So it'd be interesting to see if he can get rolling like he did during that second quarter when McKinnon were able to get out to that nice little lead.
Hits the back end of the free throws. Lead now out to 8 for the Cougars, 72-64, 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. attacking the ring. Shot's no good. Pulls down his own board. Does Jika. Hits the deck as well. And the Cougars are going to come up with possession.
Now, Lee Jacker, a world-class shooter, played a lot of years overseas and also in the NBL. I think that the pace of this game may be playing a factor in his ability to score here because once he gets his feet set, it's lights out. And I just think with the tempo of the game, he hasn't had a chance to get an open look. Plus, I think he's 35 this year, isn't he?
36.
36.
He is. 10 years over in Europe, playing plenty of ball over there. Double digits in all but 3 games this year. So, despite his age, he's having himself a great year.
Yeah, he's been fantastic at the Broncos for a long time. And
attacking the ring.
Ooh.
No good there. Williams gets his own board once and twice and 3 times. And then he puts it in and the foul as well. And he is happy.
That's what Eric Williams does. I mean, you just can't take out his first efforts. As a first effort player, he'd still be averaging close to 20 points a game, but it's those little things where he continues to get on the glass that make him so effective.
Mabubi whistled for that foul as well. That'll be his 3rd. And Williams very short on that one. He's up to 7 points this game. And a foul's called. What's it going to be? It's going to be offensive once again. The crowd's not too happy.
Crowd voicing their displeasure once again.
Tamata reading that very well. What are your thoughts on that call? I thought it was a pretty good one. I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to say anything till Todd says something because
Todd's looking at me
he's
like
looking
I've
at
got
me
3 heads right
sideways
now.
like, you seriously think that's a good call?
I think I might have been a little closer than the last one, but still I'm not sure if the feet were set there. And that takes it to, I think that's 18-8 team foul, so definitely one-sided.
Yeah, 5-1. Well, both 5-1 this quarter. It's probably more than 5, but
Williams, crossover, step back, buckets. And Broncos looking a little bit rattled at the moment. Leads out to 12, 64-76. Cougars have all of the momentum right now. Pondak misses that one. Beautiful tip. Now Tamata's attacking. Now decides to pull it out. Stith sees an open lane. Doesn't quite. Williams puts up a deep 3. That's no good. Mabubi pulling down the board. Attacking all the way. No good there. And then a foul called on the rebounding contest.
Tom Boyle once again commits a foul that he didn't commit.
Boyle
just getting clarification there.
No, never fouls. No one ever fouls.
Tom Boyle doesn't.
Broncos ball on the baseline here.
Very well scouted there. Out of bounds play by McKinnon, but Tamata just
great pass.
Pace, but got let off.
Goes too hard that time. And then Tamata, tough finish over the much bigger player. And then a quick 3 and a quick return. Prendergast knocking that one down. And boy, did the Broncos need that one. Bit of a settler. Tamata, step back 3. Probably not the right decision there.
Probably a little bit of fatigue kicking in for him.
Coach Mayback with his hands on his knees after that one. Big rebound there by
Eric
Williams.
Just going to slow things down. Great decision. Jermaine Maybank calling a play from the bench here. Very hard to hear because we've been relegated to the back row what that play might be.
Maybe that was a good thing. We were going to call it out for them. Tell them how to run it. Shot clock's running down. Williams with a step back deep 2. Probably not the play they wanted, but Stith pulls down the board and gets the friendly roll. And he is flexing here at the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium.
Todd mentioned earlier, and it's just been a demolition job by McKinnon on the offensive glass here. I think you said there was 17 second chance points at halftime. I dare say we're well into the high 20s now.
Up to 23 second chance points with that one. And the Cougars...
I was close.
You were very close. 20s, definitely.
The stats might not have counted those ones.
Oh, those ones haven't counted that one yet. So 25,
and that'll be 18 offensive boards, so just...
18 offensive rebounds to 7.
Yeah, I think between the offensive rebounding and the lights out shooting from outside, they've been the two huge keys for McKinnon so far.
It's hard to win games when a team's playing with this much energy and when you're demolishing on the offensive glass and on the second chance points and shooting the lights out as well. It's near a perfect game for the Cougars, and that's unfortunate.
If there's been any blight by McKinnon so far in this game, it's been their free throw shooting. They just haven't converted, particularly in this third quarter.
Oh, Stike gets up big for that one. And a few subs coming in for the Cougars.
Dylan Stike getting a break here. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in by the start of the fourth quarter. They'll just get him this 43 seconds, plus the three-quarter time break, and get him as fresh as they can for this final stanza.
Wilson checking in for the Cougars. Richard Oyam checked in for the Broncos as well. 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. Oyam attacking, finding the open shooter and throws that ball out of bounds there. Does Mabubi. And everyone's pointing at each other saying, that was your fault. No, that was your fault. 25 seconds left in the third quarter here. Broncos playing a full court press here for the first time in the game. Cougars beat that way too easily. And then the pass is tipped.
High risk, high reward. No Tamata in the game, so Eric Williams almost being their default point guard.
Got about a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock here. Cougars will hold for the last shot. It's in the hands of Williams. Big cross-court pass. Thought about it, driving in. Wide open lane to the ring there by Jordan Greer. Shots up and it's short. Williams just going to hold it. Doesn't want to ruin his field goal percentage. Three-quarter time here at the Broadmeadows Basketball Stadium. Lead is out to 15 for the Cougars. And their crowd is happy, 82 to 67. McKinnon bringing a small army with them, and they're pretty happy right now. They're not mad that they made the trip out to Broadmeadows.
It's been a great crowd. They're into it. They're enjoying it. Probably wasn't the highest standard there in the third quarter, but it's great to hear people involved, even if sometimes they are getting into the referees and that sort of stuff. It's great to see the passion here in the finals.
Yeah, definitely.
Taking a look here at some of the stats after three-quarter time. And that top one there, that's the glaring difference here in rebounding. Cougars plus 16 on the glass, plus 11 in offensive rebounds. You're not going to win too many games when you're giving up 18 offensive rebounds, especially when they're converting it to the tune of 23 second chance points and 38 of the 38 points in the paint. It's been a bit of a dirty, ugly night for the Broncos.
Yeah, it's certainly been a tough third quarter there, and as Paul said, a lot of fatigue. Started King Mission to see the big three for McKinnon, who played a lot of minutes so far, how they run out the game. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hume City put some pressure up the floor here. It's something that they employed against Hawthorn in game one, and it was pretty successful. So might see a two-point guard lineup come out here and put some pressure up the floor on the McKinnon point guards.
Do or die at the moment for the Broncos, and do or die for a few teams across some of the other divisions. Do we have any updates going on?
Looks like Warrandyte are going to get the chocolates here against Keysborough. It's fourth quarter, 6 minutes to go, and they got a 23-point lead. Brian Moore with 11 points and 18 rebounds, one of the most hated players in all of Big V. Just ask all his friends. And Brenton Charles with 32 points. I'm sure Brenton Charles went through seasons where he didn't score 32 points. So great to see him getting amongst the scorers. He's had a terrific career in Big V, and they're now moved to within one game of going to a grand final series. in the Division 2 women, Melbourne University are playing against the Blackburn Vikings. They hold a 10-point lead there. Andrea Belmonte not able to get them over the top at the moment. She's got 5 points, but she's also got 14 rebounds. I don't know if you've seen Andrea Belmonte, but she's not the type that you would think would get 14 rebounds, but she's all heart.
Jordan Coleman with a bucket there for the Broncos to start the fourth quarter. Williams missing that one there. Ball's being pushed here by OIM. And late whistle there. OIM's going to go to the line here to shoot 2.
And in the Division 1 women's game, we're all tied up at 81 with 4 minutes 30 to play between Mildura Heat and the Hawthorn Magic.
OIM going to the line here. 3.7 points per game. One of a handful of Broncos to come out of Bulleen. Misses the first there. It's always the commentator's curse.
He missed the first portion of the season, recovering from knee injury, and straight away you can just see how quick and explosive he is, even coming after injury. And as you can see, a bit of pressure here. Interesting to see how McKinnon handle it.
I think the timing of the pressure is ideal with Tamata sitting on the bench at the minute. Be interesting to see when they get him back in.
Rewarded with the turnover there. OIM puts up the 3. And the travelling Cougars fans letting him know that that one didn't quite make the distance. Bit going on in the middle of the quarter as well, with OIM and Jack Wilson. And Greer gets through that press way too easy, but harassed with the double team there. Greer has the ball with OIM on him.
Great defense there.
Hits the deck there. Easy 2 points. Went down a little bit too easily there.
Tom Boyle with a big finish.
OIM has it coming out of the third quarter.
Puts it back out to
Plenty
14.
of contact there. And take your pick with that one. Block or charge. Referees call it a block. That's on Jack Wilson.
I think if that one was called a charge, the place might have erupted.
Peter Pondak going to the line here. He's going to shoot 2, 13 points, 7.5 rebounds a game. Played in the SEABL last year with the then Sandringham Sabres. Had a big season there. Had a bit of an up and down season this year for the Broncos. Seen limited action in some time, but when he's had the chance, he can show what he can do. A few big double-digit rebound games. And he hits the back end of the free throws there. Leads now at 12 for the Cougars, 84-72. Broncos full court defense here, not letting anything come easy for them. Wilson has it at the top, turns the corner, finds the open three-point shooter who's a bit short there, pulls down the board though, and goes around and around and gets the friendly roll, and it's been that kind of night for the Cougars.
We are watching an offensive rebounding clinic right now.
Tough shot there by Mabubi, no good. And an offensive foul called there, extending the forearm a little bit too much. There was Jordan Greer. OIM's going to take a seat here. Foster checking in. Nabubi has it.
Oh, great crossover.
Bit of a shifty move there. Tough finish. One of the travel doesn't get called. Ball gets ripped out of his hands. Foster going up. Puts it in with two hands easy.
They got a timeout there.
And the crowd's getting up and about.
The Hume City supporters can smell a comeback. All I can smell is that popcorn. I saw it was there for $2 a box, but I think everyone around us is eating popcorn right now.
2.5 minutes down in the fourth quarter. Leeds cut back to 10, 76-86. Broncos have all the momentum right now. Now, we've got two first-year coaches here, but we'll focus on Jermaine Maybach for a second. Is he nervous? Would he be nervous right now? He doesn't look too nervous, but you always want to show your confidence to your team. But on the inside, do you reckon he's...
No, even the way he's just diagramming that press breaker down there at the moment, he's pretty calm. Just looking at the way the guy's now standing at the back, he's obviously made some substitutions. So, I think we'll see Tamata, Stith, and some of the heavy artillery start to make their way back. McKinnon's still 10 points up, and a lot of those guys have been sitting for 4 or 5 minutes now. So they'll have their lungs back, and they're in a great position now to roll out with, the best starting five in the league, one of the best starting fives in the league, and have a 10-point advantage with only 7.5 minutes to go.
Now, as we have a quick break in the action, we need to remind you that September 14th, Saturday, September 14th, is the Big V Awards Night at Melbourne Pavilion. Doors open at 6:30. Head over to the Big V website to get your tickets and make sure you are there. It's going to be a big night where we crown all the award winners in what has been a massive Big V19 season. Crowds up and about here. 10-point advantage to the Cougars. Williams has the ball in his hands.
Hume persevering with that 3-2 zone.
Shot clock's ticking down. Got to get a shot up. Tamata has it. Doesn't quite drop. Loose ball on the ground. Who's going to come up with it?
Has to be a jump ball.
We get a jump ball called here. We're all friends in the end. Cougars are going to keep possession. As we take a look here at the scrap.
Tom Boyle checking out of the game. Never one to enjoy a sub, but he's been very serviceable for McKinnon Cougars tonight.
Laycock checking back in for the Cougars. He's going to inbound it as well. 14 on the shot clock. McKinnon ball on the baseline. Beautiful little play drawn up off the inbound. Shot doesn't quite fall. Behind the back. Great finish there.
Awesome job avoiding contact there. Certainly a charge set up there, but he was able to avoid it, only just take it on the side, avoid that charge, and now we're back to an 8-point ball game.
Lead is now under double digits for the first time in a long time. Tamata has it, kicks it into the corner. And then a foul called on the baseline. 19 seconds of solid defense. Foul called there on Prendergast.
Yeah, don't think you'd argue too much with that one.
Cougars ball on the baseline. Struggling to get it in. They find it. And then they find the open shooter. Big 3 points there by Tamata. Cuts the lead back out to double digits.
Great touch.
Nice little finish there by Peter Pondak. Soft touch by the big man.
Yep. I think you watch Mahubi and Stith. I think Mahubi's trying to rough him up off the ball here. In fact, Stith throwing a few elbows there with Jordan Coleman. But another three.
Massive three by Tamata. Could that be the game? Oh, unlucky there by Prendergast. Went all the way in and then all the way back out. Unfortunate there.
Watch out.
Great defense there by
Great
Foster.
hustle.
Mabubi doesn't quite get an offensive rebound. And then the shot drops. Daniel Foster, those 2 points deserve to go to you. Great defense there. Just reading which way Williams was going to go perfectly. And then acquainting himself with the floor as well.
Floor wipers out there.
Hardest working people on the court, I would say.
Second best floor wiper in the league behind Simon Truella. Only Simon Truella would have had choice words and been tossed out by now, but that's a different story.
Cougars going to have it on the baseline here. 5 minutes 35 left in the game. 10-point advantage their way, 82-92. We're going basket for basket here in the fourth quarter. Lead's been hovering around this 8 to 12 points for a while now. Broncos need to do something.
Yeah, Prendergast was just shoving him off the ball. They're trying to be real physical here. That was just a silly foul. He can't argue with that. It's just he's probably more angry that he got called out on it.
Only the third personal foul for him in the game. A few choice words as well but going on between him and Dylan Stith. And nothing's going to change. Still going to play the same physical way off the ball. Tamata has it at the top, creates some space, knocks down another big three. He's happy as well.
What a game for Adrian Tamata. Very quiet at halftime. Well, not quiet, but quiet by his standards at halftime.
Worked himself.
He only
up
had 8 points in the first half. What's he up to now?
Up to 22 points.
22, so back up to
his hand.
Just impossible
25
to guard when he's knocking down shots like that because he's so quick, it's hard to stay in front of him. And if you give him a little bit of space, you can see what he can do.
He can go to the ring, he can hit the threes, he can do a little bit of everything. Jamal Shabazz hits that free throw. First year playing in Victoria after playing in the SBL in WA last year. 16 and a bit points a game. Hits the back end of the free throws there. Up to 17 for the game here. Tamata has it. Thought about the three, decides to give off the next pass. Start almost pulling down another offensive board. And then a late whistle called there. That foul's going on Dylan Stith. And the Cougars are over the limit. Broncos going to walk the entire length of the court to shoot some bonus free throws. And this is exactly what the Broncos want right now. Stop the clock, get some free points. Foster going to the line. Misses the back end. The Cougars fans are happy that are here. Silence throughout the stadium except for the Cougars fans, and they're making a lot of noise. And they get rewarded with an empty trip to the line. That's the last thing that the Broncos wanted right now. The Cougars going to run down the clock here a little bit. Tamata has it with Foster on him. Great ball movement. Shot clock ticking down. Got to get a shot up, and they do.
Jimmy Malvaso knocked down that elbow.
Checks back into the game. And scores all right when they need him to. Attacking. And a foul's called. And Coleman's going to go to the line for one more. And that foul's whistled on Stith. And that's his fourth.
He's picked up 3 in the last 3 minutes, I think.
How many fouls is Jake Martin on at the moment?
Just the one.
Just the one? They're hanging around like, they haven't really been able to make any ground. It's still 11 points of difference. Certainly it feels like there's more momentum here, but both Jake Martin and Lee Jecker, who are two of the perennial scorers for Hume City, sitting out at the moment. So obviously going with that more mobile lineup because they're getting up the floor defensively. I think if they don't get some stops in the next minute or so, they're going to have to bring the firepower back into the game.
Cougars call a timeout here. 4 minutes 11 left in the fourth quarter. They have an 11-point advantage, 97-86. Every time the Broncos seem to start to come back a little bit, the Cougars just cut that off straight away. Normally off the hands of Malvaso, who's had a massive game.
Just doing a bit around the grounds here, Jamie. Hawthorn have a 2-point lead over Mildura with 4 seconds to go, and it's Mildura ball. They've just called a timeout. The ball will be advanced. So it'll be interesting to see if Mildura can pull something out, either a 2 to tie or a 3 to win here up at the Toyota Hothouse.
We've got free throws here for the Broncos. Coleman to the line. He's up to 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, doing a little bit of everything for the Broncos. Hits that bonus free throw as well.
He's great at accumulating points, Jordan Coleman. He doesn't sort of get them in big bunches, but he just amasses those points over a long period of time. Before you know it, he's got 22, 25 points.
Cougars beating that press relatively easily here. Tamata has it. He's got Foster on him. Playing the possession game here, the clock game a little bit. Shot clock's ticking down. Tough finish. No good there. Could have been a foul. No whistle. Foster goes downhill. Now Coleman has it. Massive 3 points.
Back to a 7-point game.
Almost coming up with the steal off the inbound as well. And then returns with another 3, just Malvaso. How can you leave him open?
Well, they sent that trap up the floor, and so it had a 3-on-2 advantage over the halfway line.
And come up with a...
Someone had to be open, and there was a deflection that time, and someone got open.
Shabazz just rams it home. And then another turnover, but he manages to recover. Could have been a foul. Crowd wants one.
I think the crowd were looking for a double dribble or a travel.
Williams has it at the top, attacking. And a foul called. And the crowd not happy there. Thought he might have been a little bit out of position, but we'll have a look on the replay. Couldn't quite tell from that angle there. But in live play, probably a good call in the end. And Malvaso's taking a seat here for the Cougars. Big call. Jordan Gear checking in. An interesting decision there by Coach Maybank.
Particularly after Malvaso hit that last 3, but Malvaso more on the offensive end of things, so obviously after these free throws it'll be a Hume City ball.
Bit of an offense-defense.
Could well be.
Williams hits the front end. This place is rocking as he misses the back end, but then an easy offensive rebound there. Laycock pulls it down. A coach killer there. This has been the Achilles heel of the Broncos all night, and it's coming up when it needs to be the worst. And Dylan Stites hits the 3 and has some words for the Broncos bench as well. He is
giving up an offensive rebound on a free throw and then getting it backed up with a 3-pointer is just a massive
beat
low
off the
blow.
dribble there a little bit too easily. 2 minutes 20 left in the game. It's still a 10-point lead, 94 to 104. There's Stipe throwing down the board.
Matt Foster calling timeout. It's a 12-point game. 2 minutes 12 to go.
And just like I said before, just as the Broncos start to build a little bit of momentum, and we say, could they be coming back here? The Cougars just with a few easy wins.
Playing that high risk, high reward game. Just going back to the around the grounds, Mildura. Bronte Clark had a 3-point attempt on the buzzer to win the game, and it did not go down. So Hawthorn claiming victory in game 1 of that grand final series up at Mildura. In the Division 2 women, looks like Melbourne Uni are going to get the chocolates against Blackburn. Unfortunately, Blackburn's best ever point guard, Andrea Belmonte, is not going to get the chocolates for him. So Melbourne Uni advancing to the grand final series there as well by the looks of things.
We should also shout out in the NBL 1 grand finals going on tonight as well. The Kilsyth Cobras getting the win there in the women's division. Lauren Nicholson with the game MVP.
That's a hell of a victory for them. I mean, some of the rosters in that league, particularly in the women, you've got girls who are playing in the Opals, who are not only playing WNBL, also playing NBL 1. And for Kilsyth to get over the likes of Bendigo and Geelong, huge victory.
The Broncos have the ball. Coleman has it. A great defensive possession there. Nothing coming easy. Ball's tipped. Broncos are going to keep the ball. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the game. Martin has it. Being harassed by Williams. Getting the handoff there to Coleman. Nothing coming easy. Another pass is tipped. The Cougars are up and about.
4 seconds left on the shot clock here.
Got to get something good here. It's right in front of the Cougars bench as well, so they're not going to let anything easy come.
Watch out for the lob here too. They like to run that off the...
Is that for Coleman?
If Coleman come up.
Yeah, he's going to curl over the top.
Decided against it.
They don't know how long's left on the
Up
clock.
top to Foster, getting it in.
Ooh.
And I think they just said, eat your words there. They knew exactly how many seconds are on the clock. Beautiful play there. But again, the Cougars beating that press a little bit too easily. Foot violation. The Broncos refusing to go away. 97 seconds left in the game here. 10-point advantage. And Lee Jecker checking back into the game. Is it too little too late though? Mabubi taking a seat. Stith's going to inbound here. They managed to get it in.
Tamata's going to run out the clock here. Oh,
Stith
got double teamed.
Left open, he's going to attack. Beautiful pass, open three. No good, but another offensive rebound.
Seconds.
Jordan Gear. Tamata to the corner to Stith. Is this the icing?
Ooh.
No good there, a little
Another
bit too
offensive
strong.
rebound.
And they're going to waste another 14 seconds. Gear has it at the top with Foster on him. Double comes.
Tamata's wide open here at the top of the key. Oh no, there's
Just
Eric Williams.
dropping it down to Williams, who finishes it off. Getting a few subs here now.
Looks like Hume City flying the flag now with Jordan Coleman coming out of the game. Great game by him.
Evan Solakidis checking in for his first minutes.
Just doing some more quick around the grounds here with 2 minutes 58 to go in the second quarter. Bendigo up by 9 against the heavily fancied Nunawading in the NBL 1 men at the moment. Bendigo coming from 8th on the ladder.
What a story.
What an amazing performance if they get up and get a championship.
Jake Martin getting the O board, putting it back in off the missed three by Pendergast. 53 seconds left on the clock here. 98-108. Cougars have the advantage as well. And this is going to be a massive win for the Cougars. Probably the favoured team in the end, but this place was rocking from the start. Very loud. Massive crowd here, as we've said the whole game. Full stand and plenty of people going on the opposite court as well. Very loud, but the Cougars they had their travelling crowd as well, and they've taken no backward step the whole game.
Oh, no.
And the lob and the jam, Dylan Stith. We had to get one in this game. And then a foot violation called. Broncos going to keep the ball here. So looking forward to game 2 next week at GSAC, McKinnon's home court. What do you think the Broncos have to change up, have to do differently, without stating the obvious and saying get better on the offensive rebounds?
I think there's going to be 2 hours of rebound work on Tuesday night.
I think the thing is with that game, even though look, McKinnon has held advantage for basically the best part of the last 3 quarters now, the adjustments they can make can really change the game. Can they win 2 in a row down at McKinnon? I don't know. But the thing I like for me is it's within their control. If they can guard the 3-point line a little better and if they can block out a little bit better, you know, they're right in this game. They can make up 12 points pretty easy if they can keep them to a respectable amount of threes. Right now, what are they at?
They're at 17 made.
17 made threes, so they're getting 51 from behind the arc. 51 points.
Fouls called there. That's on Jordan Pendergast.
And Dylan Stite's going to take a seat and get a warm ovation from these McKinnon fans.
Tamata's going to go to the line here. Stite takes a seat, much to the amusement. And taking a look at the Cougars, we mentioned at the start the big 3 in Stite, Tamata, and Eric Williams. Williams with just a 14 points. Stite has 23, Tamata 22. But they've really had a mindset of do it by committee tonight.
Got contributions from everywhere.
And 32 bench points for McKinnon. So a lot of contribution out there.
Shot clock's turned off here. 15 seconds remaining on the game clock. Cougars going to dribble it out. And Williams is happy.
Eric is hot.
As Borbajo checks in for his first minutes. Dribbles it out. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen. The travelling McKinnon Cougars take the win, 110-98. Broncos putting up a tough fight at the start of the game, coming out, blowing, making everyone a little bit surprised, getting out to an early lead, but then just the experience and the veteran core of the Cougars just taking control of the game, and it was relatively comfortable for the majority of the game, you would say.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think, look, they controlled the game all through those last 3 quarters. Did an outstanding job making shots and getting on the offensive glass. It wasn't just, you know, sometimes you have a good shooting night, but it wasn't just great shooting. They worked really hard on the offensive glass. I think they got subs at the right time. As a coach, you can make subs, and sometimes they don't work out well for you, but they were able to rest their veterans at the end of each quarter and have them fresh for the end and able to extend their lead, even though it got down to single digits a number of times, but they've prevailed with a nice, comfortable 12-point margin in the end. And even allow guys like Stite to get the applause from the fans as he came out of the game at the end there.
Yeah, just looking at the quarter by quarter, the end of the second and the start of the third, McKinnon really just turned it on, and that was the big difference in the game. Hume had the lead at quarter time and outscored them in the fourth, but all the damage was done in that period.
And then the offensive rebounds as well. We're touching on it the whole game. The Cougars ending the game 23 offensive rebounds to 9 by the Broncos. 23 offensive rebounds in a game, and then they were able to convert off them as well. 30 second chance points. You're not going to win too many games when you're giving up those kind of numbers.
Well, I mean, if you can nullify some of those second chance points, I mean, you've got 30 there, and then you've got 51 points from threes. That's 81 points already.
That's a winning That's a winning score in a lot of games.
81 points to win a lot of games for you. So, but as I said, that's something that Hume City can adjust, make some adjustments, and hopefully we get to see this go a 3-game series.
Well, thank you very much for joining wherever you did around the country and the world. The travelling McKinnon Cougars take game 1 of the Big V State Championship Men Grand Final Series, 110-98. Game 2 next Saturday night at GSAC. Will you be there, boys?
I'll be there.
Definitely.
Absolutely. For Todd Anderson, Paul Langford, my name's Jamie Hamilton. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week. and then gets the friendly roll back. Ball gets tipped out. A wide open deep three, knocks it down. No good. Manages to get the O board, takes it all the way. Doesn't than I could ever dream of. And transition three, knocks it down. Say play on. And another transition three for the Cougars.
Tom Boyle.
Point advantage. What are the Broncos going to do to hit back?
Great use of the pick. I'm happy. The last thing we want to see is great players sitting on the bench in such an important game.
And just as them both.
Jordan Gear, I think on the season was an 81% free.
Harassed by Mabubi. Shugs the defender off. Tough finish. Another step back. Goes to the left hand. Williams thought about the three. Decides against it. Kicks it off to the better three-point shooter. And another pretty little step back. Fouls here. Doesn't want to get a third before half-time. Tamata takes it all the way. And since then, we've just gone shot for shot. Tough finish. Plenty of contact. No Cougars. Great O-board there. No good. No foul. Defense there. Lefty three in the corner. No, it's a deep two. He takes a three straight away. Chases down his own board. Stuyth comes up with it. Puts it in.
Don't make a liar of me, but
3-point shots up. That one's down. Same spot.
We won't see him before halftime.
That's a tough three coming off the screen. The Broncos needed Williams. Great ball movement. Great vision. Great pushing it here in transition. Sees the open shooter.
Malvasa with a step back.
Hits the deck. Ticked just under a minute remaining in the first half. Foster takes the three and he knocks it down. Somehow comes away with it. Pulls down his own board. Gets the hometown roll. Big shot in the grand scheme of things. Can they get the stop? Shots up. Gets roll out of Shabazz's hands. Takes it all the way himself. Tough left hand, as are the Cougars. Corner three shots, no good. Offensive board. Great defense, better offense. Shabazz stopping on a dime. Playing for the foul again, no good. Stuyth rips down the board. And then just puts the ball in the ring and rips down rebounds. And drops assists as well.
I'm pretty sure I saw him before.
Beautiful dime. Attacking the ring.
Ooh.
No good there. Williams gets his own board once and twice and three times. And then he puts it in and the foul as well.
One this quarter. It's probably more than five, but
Williams, crossover, step back.
Got let off.
Goes too hard that time. Bigger player. And then a quick three and a quick return. Shot clock's running down. Williams with a step back, deep two. Probably not the play they wanted, but Stuyth pulls down the board and gets the friendly. Big cross-court pass. Thought about it, driving in. Wide open lane two, though.
5 points, but she's also got 14 rebounds. I don't know if you've seen it. Great defense there.
Hits the deck there. Easy 2 points. A bit short there. Pulls down the board, though. And goes around and around. Nabubi has it.
Oh, great crossover.
Bit of a, doesn't get called. Ball gets ripped out of his hands. Foster going up. Puts it in. White fall. Behind the back. Struggling to get it in. They find it. And then they find the open shooter. Big 3 points to double digits.
Great touch. I think Mahubi's trying to rough him up off the ball here. In fact, Stuyth throwing a few elbows there with Jordan Coleman.
Mabubi doesn't quite get an offensive rebound. Physical way off the ball. Tamata has it at the top, creates some space, knocks down another big. Great ball movement. Shot clock ticking down. Got to get a shot up, and they do. Foster goes downhill. Now Coleman has it. Massive three as well. And then returns with another three. Just
off the floor, and so it had a 3-on-2 advantage over the halfway line.
And come up with a, and it's coming up when it needs to be the worst. And
Rebound on a free throw, and then getting it backed up with a 3-pointer is just a...
And then he
Massive
beat
low
off the
blow.
still a 10-point lead, 94 to 104. There's Stipe throwing
They don't know how long's left on the
up
clock.
top to Foster, getting it in.
Ooh.
Comes
Tamata's wide open here at the top of the key. Oh no, there's
Just
Tarek Williams.
dropping
wide
it
open.
down to Williams, who finishes it off.
Man at the moment. Bendigo coming from 8th on the ladder.
What a story.
What an amazing
Going
performance.
backward step the whole game.
Oh no.
And the lob and the jam, Dylan Stipe.